Hello and welcome to the Easy Allies podcast. I'll be your moderator, Brandon Jones. Joining me this week, panelist Brad Ellis.
Hi.
My pumpkin-spiced co-moderator, Daniel Bloodworth.
Hello.
Making it all happen in the control room, Isla Hink.
Hi.
Just
For the record, I have not had any pumpkin spice recently, so.
you just
Oh yeah,
kinda-
I was gonna say, is he
just
having
give
that?
off the aroma. You
Okay.
know, when you're working hard, you exude it.
Okay.
We
Good to know.
we got some team members that are busy on projects.
Yeah.
Far more important than Easy Allies podcast. But regardless, we are here to talk about some of the biggest headlines in the world of video games. But before we do that, we must first answer for all of the mistakes we made last week. Isla, begin corrections music, please.
Boop.
Riot Games will disable all chat in a future patch. They haven't done it yet. Currently, it is not disabled. Ella Musk in Genshin Impact is not into tech. She's a linguistic scholar who is studying the Hilichurl language, who are the common goblin-like enemies in the game. Whoever left that comment was like,
could be
they're
useful.
like, I know you're going to hate this one, but Ever Tried is an isometric tactical roguelike whose protagonist looks a lot like Hollow Knight.
Okay.
The biggest game in the world I was thinking of was not Crossfire, it was Garena Free Fire. I knew there was a
course.
fire in it.
Oh.
But Garena Free Fire is one of those that's just like, doesn't matter what Pokemon Go's
Don't
doing. It's just
think
gonna,
I've even heard of
gonna
that one,
take
but
it.
okay.
Doesn't matter what Genshin Impact's doing on mobile. It's gonna
Yep.
take all the mobile money. Last week's Sunday version of the podcast went up on Saturday for a hot second. That was very exciting
I
for
remember
anybody.
that.
There was a couple
Live.
comments in there, which means when it went up on Sunday, it was way down in the playlist
Yeah,
and everything.
that was a learning moment,
Yeah.
and yet it'll probably not happen again in enough time for us to apply that lesson.
Such is the life of the content creator. And next week's episode will be a day early because I actually have a conflict in the day we normally shoot.
Right.
So that'll be Thursdays for people that get that early access and Saturdays for everyone else. And corrections music, please.
Boop.
Lucky us, we get to affect Hollywood. Little did I know it would take until the Easy Allies podcast when I finally would get some power in the Hollywood biz. We have two movies that are in trouble, movies that are very near and dear to my heart. An actor has left. We need to replace that actor with a character from video games, from Mango Olds. All the Chucky's dolls in the set of Child's Play have been destroyed in a mysterious storage closet fire.
Wow.
Luckily, the director's kid has their collection of video game character plush dolls with them. Which character do you choose to fill the terrifying toy's shoes? Is it Vivi from Final Fantasy IX? Pikachu from Pokemon? Or Cuphead?
Pikachu.
Pretty scary. I like Vivi doing fire spells. And I imagine they're going to have to attach some sort of puppeteering
Yeah.
apparati.
Right.
They can't just have a hand shaking the thing.
Chucky's very verbal, isn't he?
Oh, yeah.
I haven't seen Child's Play in like
Brad
forever.
Dourif and then later Mark Hamill.
Yeah.
So the only
Have
one of
read
those
many,
that like really
many lines of dialogue.
talks, I guess, is Vivi. He's got to
Yeah, but
communicate.
we've never heard Vivi's voice. Yeah,
I know,
She's
but he
both
has
texting.
tons of dialogue. Not true. He's in Kingdom Hearts 2. He has dialogue.
Oh, okay, nice.
Yeah. Yeah, he has dialogue in 9 as well.
Well, not like you can't hear him.
Oh,
That's
hear
what I
his
meant.
voice. Yeah,
You can
yeah.
actually hear him in Kingdom Hearts. So I would just say him because he actually
Vivi
talks.
could be creepy with the eyes.
Yeah.
Just imagine his eyes just open. Cuphead is a good one too.
Cuphead's
I think.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The when you're saying that I can't remember the name. The like little dolls in the dwarf fortress in Final Fantasy IV.
Oh, okay.
Like there's like a smaller like group of dolls and they like merge into a mega doll or something
Right.
like that. And there's just this waltz playing and like they fit the bill pretty
Pretty
well.
creepy. Not on the list though. We gotta shoot
Not
this
on the
movie. Come
list, yeah.
come on,
I
let's
said
shoot.
Vivi.
All right.
Let's go, Vivi. Okay.
From Evan Stathakis, Mandy Patinkin disappeared from the set of Princess Bride. Disappeared,
No.
leaving only a small note saying, "Don't look for me."
That
You are
seems
now
like
tasked
something
with
you would do.
recasting the role of Inigo Montoya. Your choices are Riku from Kingdom Hearts, Sephiroth, or Dante. Not that one. The other Dante.
The DMC
The
Dante?
DMC Dante.
Oh man.
Oh, man.
Riku, Seph, or DMC Dante.
These are rough choices.
Yeah.
To recapture the magic.
I don't even know Riku, and I'm like, this has got to be the
Mandy
one.
Patinkin's
I think
performance.
Riku is probably
Riku's pretty
it.
sick.
But Sephiroth would turn in a very nuanced and interesting
He'd
performance.
steal it,
Yes,
and that's
the
not fair
vibe
to
would
everyone
be
else in that movie.
insane. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go Riku. I love
Nice.
Riku.
And as always, they're very, very grateful. The moment I get on the horn, Let them know what our picks are.
Saved.
Whew. They can start work tomorrow morning. Speaking of movies that people are making, they're making that Uncharted movie.
Yeah.
And I didn't think today,
Yeah.
I saw some Twitter people were like, a lot of fans were very much anticipating we would get a look at the Uncharted movie today. I was just wrapping up our rundown for the Easy Allies podcast, and Blood says, how about an Uncharted movie trailer? What did you think of the Uncharted movie trailer, Bloodworth? You posted in Slack.
Yeah, I only watched it the one time, so I actually wish I'd spent a little bit more time rewatching it. But I think just the first impressions of it is it just takes me a while to like try to cement them as those characters. You know, like
Yeah,
when
I
I
can
see
see
Mark
that.
Wahlberg,
Yeah,
I'm like, that's probably Nathan
you
Drake.
think
Oh no, that's Sully.
You think of Sully and you're like,
Right.
Yeah.
you're not used to Sully. You're used to Sully like
You need
white
a-
hair.
you need a mustache,
Mustache. Yeah, no, mustache is kind of weird.
But I think this is supposedly like
The
earlier in
early
the timeline. It's
young
when
Drake.
they met.
Right.
Yeah, that's true.
The only thing that's weird about that is the airplane shot from
From
Uncharted 3. And I
Yeah.
know there's a lot of other shots in there
Yeah.
that call back to the movies, and it just seems like it's weird because that is so you're pulling that scene, but is
Oh, of
that
course.
not part of this?
You gotta
No,
have
it's-
something
yeah.
recognizable, I guess.
I suppose
It's like the Resident Evil trailer. The new one has like 3 games in it.
But it's so funny, the mustache, it's like Jill's shoulder pads. People are like, where are the shoulder pads? Like, just these weird things we get hung up on, like in games, that are important, but maybe not to,
I wish
to
I had
some
the shoulder
costume
pads.
designers.
And then, but yeah, the other thing I thought about this plane shot was it was just like I felt like the trailer itself kind of like weighed a little too heavily on it. It just kept coming back to it. And like,
I guess
here
at
it
the
is
end,
again.
the-
You
yeah.
know, and so it was like one of those.
I
things.
guess it's like the one set piece they wanted to really show off.
yeah,
Because like Uncharted's all about set pieces, so they gotta have some crazy ones in there. But
I wonder sometimes when effects are getting prepared for movies, if they're like,
If
you
what's
get,
done
you get
or whatever.
one. You get one scene, pick it. And it's like, oh, well, okay, we'll do the plane. That'll be the first trailer.
Yeah.
And then they finish it, and then they move on to another scene. That's just like, it's not like we're, like being secretive. Like, that scene's not done. Like, we have nothing to show you for that thing. I do like it when stuff comes back. I can see them definitely trying, like, to one-up the movie. Yeah, so Mark Wahlberg as Sully, Tom Holland in the central role as Nathan Drake. This is definitely another, does not remind me at all of, like, Nathan Drake. There's definitely have to be like even like a young Nathan Drake. This is gonna have to be like kind of a new character, new relationship,
very
and everything.
different. Yeah.
But I'm down for it. He definitely doesn't have a mustache, but I don't hate Mark Wahlberg
Wahlberg.
in the role. Am I nuts?
no, I don't think you're nuts.
I'm kind of into his vibe. I don't know. He's 50.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm
willing
okay
to give him
with
a
it.
shot.
I'm okay. Yeah, I'm willing to check it out.
Isla, have you seen this trailer?
I'm watching it right now.
Excellent.
Nice.
Yeah.
Sophia sent it to me earlier today, and her comment is like, they're just being themselves. Tom Holland and Mark Wahlberg
Right,
are just
right.
being Tom
Roles
Holland and Mark
they're born
Wahlberg.
to play.
Well, Tom Holland is being the amazing American version of himself,
Yes,
which he
Yes.
can pull off so
American Tom
eloquently.
Holland.
He was a little more like a smart aleck kind of though, like Drake at some
Yeah,
parts,
yeah.
like at the bar and stuff.
And he definitely has a physicality. A lot of the flips and crazy stuff you see him
Yeah.
doing Spider-Man, he can do himself. So like I'm sure he's having like an absolute blast.
I found myself wondering how many people he's gonna kill. Because like that is
Sure,
a
at
very
least
big
100.
thing of the games is like you kill like 3,000
Oh,
people.
okay. Yeah, Sully will probably kill a bunch of people, and then like, he'll come running in like, you just killed like 8 guys, like it was nothing.
Yeah.
It's like, look,
I hope they make a joke out of it.
when
yeah,
you're
like,
unsure.
Oh, sure.
like, you just killed so many people.
Yeah.
I can't believe what you did.
I am totally down for whatever Antonio Banderas is going to do. Like,
Oh
I'm
my
just,
God, he's
just,
the villain.
Just
I
it's fine.
forgot.
It's fine.
Yeah.
I don't need it to tie to
Yeah,
anything
whatever.
in the story. I don't need this to bring any,
Whatever.
fill in any holes, any gaps in the timeline, possibly. They mentioned Sam twice.
I was
Yeah.
surprised, about that. Setting that up for sequels, or maybe the end of this. I don't know.
And that's something that I've played Uncharted 1, I've played Uncharted 4, I've never played 2 or 3 or finished 2 or 3. And I definitely just appreciated like from the
Two
timeline
is
with
the best one.
I know with the understanding that they weren't making Uncharted 1 being like, oh yeah, we're definitely gonna on 4 is when that's gonna
Yes.
finally come to
Right.
fruition. It
Yes.
was just something that came out of the series, like the Star Wars trilogy was the same way. They kind of made up a lot of that stuff as they were going along. But now looking back, I could see writers being like, oh, we can get into this Sam business.
Yeah.
Teasing us with, quote, my brother Sam left one last clue. Did he die? What happened? Oh no.
Play Uncharted 4.
Yeah.
You'll know.
Who
Post-credits.
would you want to play him?
Troy Baker.
Nolan North.
That guy.
Well, I want Nolan to be in here
Same guy.
somewhere. I want Nolan. Like
Little
Nolan's
cameo.
working
He's
with
gotta
him.
have a cameo.
He's also a bartender at that place, and it's just like,
Well, what if there's like a
something,
flashback
please.
to Drake when he's really young and his dad's there or something, and it's him?
Oh, that'd be fun.
How do we do? We have spoken a lot about how huge the Mario movie is going to be. This right on Sony's channel. They definitely were like, "Oh, this is Sony, Sony Film, Sony Studios."
There's also a
PlayStation
promo
Studios.
for like the PS5 remaster or whatever at the end.
Oh, right, yeah.
Coming to the PC. Too.
Well, how much? If I'm just a PlayStation 5 owner that does not care about Uncharted and certainly does not care about this movie, how much of this am I going to be subjected to? Like, how many times am I going to turn on the PS5 and it's like, did you know?
I don't know. It'd be
It's opening
smart if
today.
they did, though. But I don't
Yeah,
know.
I'm sure.
Maybe first, like the week it comes out or something, you'll see it there right when you boot it up.
These poor. I don't care. I just want to play my PlayStation.
There's a
games,
lot of
Brad.
shit on there
Why
that
are
I
you
don't
harassing
care
me with
about.
this movie nonsense?
That's all it is. All those consoles have
Hey,
stuff like
as long
that.
as it's not like, well, it won't be, but remember like Ratchet and Clank, because they have scenes from the movie,
Right.
then you end up like with all these weird copyright issues anytime somebody
right.
plays the game.
Right.
What exactly are you watching right now? Like, the movie and game simultaneously? What percentage of Mario's take for this animated film is this movie going to make? Like, how well do you think this is going to blow up PlayStation Studios and Sony's effort with the, to brandify or to moviefy as many brands as possible?
I would think it would do fairly well because, it's just kind of a lighthearted action movie in general. So as long as it doesn't look terrible, a lot of people are probably going to check it out, even if they don't know the games that well. It's just like they recognize it, It's, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just kind of this crossover thing. It's like, oh, I've heard Uncharted's really good. I'll watch the movie.
Brad, do you think there's going to be a lot of like holidays or like parents telling their kids, they're like, I saw the new Indiana Jones. And you're like, the what? And it's like the new one with the pirate ships. And you're like, Uncharted? Like, yeah, your dad liked it. And it's like, Mom, that's a video game movie.
Maybe.
You watched a video game movie.
I could see my
Like,
dad.
We did?
I could see
Like,
my dad
yes.
having a good time with it. My dad would be into it. It just looks like a fun adventure
Oh, I think
film.
there's for sure a lot of people that like watch the Tomb Raider movies who do not care about the games whatsoever.
Yeah, definitely.
This definitely, ticks the Indiana Jones, the National Treasure boxes. Like, it looks fun. I don't know.
I dare say nothing is quite checked that National Treasure
Oh my
box.
God, nothing.
Ever since, I've been pining for something to come close.
They're working on a TV
Yeah.
show.
Why can I
allegedly.
not remember the other character's name?
From what?
Not Nadine. The
Chloe?
Chloe. Yeah.
Yeah, she was in it.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, yeah, she seemed cool.
Yeah, I just have I'm not sure how much we're going to get of people being like, this isn't what I was expecting it to be or should have been. It's like, what a
It's
weird...
exactly what I
this
expected
is,
it to be.
He exudes, such indie, such James Bond vibes that it's just like, you just find someone that can do it. You find someone who's willing to write a story, and then you have a good time. And in 20 years, if I'm watching another Uncharted trailer where he's flying out of a plane, it's like, yeah. Uncharted's fun.
I'm really curious the moments, how much he'll talk to himself when he's doing stuff.
Oh yeah,
Come on, Nate, you got this. You got this, Nate. Let's go.
for sure. He's.
If we really put our minds to it, sadly there's no love and respect question. I bet we could write the dumbest references, like, and if we really, took a solid 2 hours, like he hands Nate something and he's just like, hey, take this back with you, and he's like, where am I going to put this? My pockets are full. Like, how am I going to?
Yeah.
How do you expect me to carry 20 objects at the same time to bring it back? Womp womp. But I'm excited. Okay. It seems like we have lukewarm enthusiasm, but nobody's necessarily jumping out of their chair. Granted, we don't have Huber here. And
I don't know
he
the
would probably
last
be
time
the
I
biggest
jumped out of my
Uncharted.
chair for a movie.
For a movie?
Yeah, period.
Fair. What about a video game?
I mean, all the time. Pretty, like, I want to say once a year, but it's not true. Maybe once every 2 years. Like Elden Ring, I'm going to flip my chair over and break a window. I'll do the same for Breath of the Wild 2, but...
What about Splinter Cell, Brad? No? You get excited?
I'm
Splinter
excited for fans.
Okay.
I've like barely played any Splinter Cell, so I don't have a good idea of the series. I just remember back in the day it was on Xbox. I didn't have an Xbox, so I didn't really play him.
It's on PS2 and GameCube as well.
Yeah, but later. Like I was playing
no,
Metal
the
Gear.
day and date.
Oh, was it? I always thought it was Xbox first.
No, they were.
Well, I picked Metal Gear. I was
Yeah.
like, well, I'm spending my money on Metal Gear.
Metal Gear started earlier. Splinter Cell was kind of
Okay.
the
I thought it was
Ubisoft
Xbox.
answer.
Why
to
was it
Metal
so
Gear.
focused on Xbox then?
Because that was the actual good version.
Oh, okay.
You're kind of blowing my mind too. I always associate that.
Yeah,
Well, but I mean,
what's
the
hilarious,
green box,
I-
the green
I-
eyes. It's a.
I had all three of those games on GameCube. and they even used the Game Boy connection thing.
Oh my God, they did?
Yeah. So there were times where either my wife or I would be playing the main screen, and the other one would be spotting them with the Game Boy because you'd use like a radar or whatever.
Oh man, that's funny.
So, but once the third one came out, I decided to do like this kind of like side-by-side article of like, because I had an Xbox at that point. I don't think I had an Xbox when the first two came out. I did like a side-by-side of the GameCube versus the Xbox versions, and they were just so amazingly different that I literally like took all of my Splinter Cell games to GameStop, traded them in, and got Xbox versions.
Well, was it like they were different games actually to an extent?
To an extent. Like there were whole sections of levels that were just
Okay,
not
so it was
in there.
That's the day of those kind of ports.
Yeah. Or like you would walk into a room and there'd be this like whole like really cool lit scene and on Xbox, and then GameCube would just be like a black wall.
Damn.
And the PlayStation version was like exactly the same.
Yeah.
They basically copied and pasted those two. But yeah, there was like the Xbox version and then whatever else.
Yeah, okay. Got it.
When was Blacklist? Do you remember off the top of your head? What year?
2012?
13. 8 years.
Okay.
Close.
Tis has been since we've gotten a decent split, a big, what we would call just a Splinter Cell. Apparently one's in production. Video Games Chronicles reporting that one is in development. Somebody finding out something that Ubisoft doesn't want people to find out is not that surprising to me.
Right.
So if you just come at me and say some of the Ubisoft thing got leaked, I'm probably programmed to believe you right away. But at the end of the day, who knows? And at the end of the day, I don't know if anyone should be excited about this.
Okay.
Or if should necessarily.
This comes with like a lot of stuff, okay? A new Splinter Cell. But now we're talking about modern Ubisoft right now. It's like,
Right.
what the hell are they doing with like a lot of their IPs? Like, what are you doing with Ghost Recon? Like, what the hell are you making right now? You're making shit no one wants. And I feel like they're going to do something stupid with that with Splinter Cell.
Right.
Like, it's so easy to get a home run with this game. You don't even have to make an amazing Splinter Cell. Just
Right.
make a good or a great one and people will be happy.
That's the difficulty, Brad, because Blacklist was that game that was actually really good. It really fits, Splinter Cell universe really well. It just, they marketed it so badly. And then people were just sort of out. And anyone that actually played the game,
Yeah, it
played
was
the
like,
multiplayer,
oh, it's
was
cool.
like, oh, yeah, this is great. But the sales weren't there.
Don't be stupid.
So if the sales weren't there, then what is Ubisoft going to do with a new game? They're
Well-
going to try to reinvent it and
Yes.
do something bizarre?
Digging back through interviews with even like a bunch of other people at Ubisoft, like a lot of them said, as gently as he could, that some of the studios are kind of scared of the brand. Like they're just like,
Right.
They won't
I don't know if
pay
that's something I
them to
really
it.
want to invest my whole company in to work on that. If again, people are just not in a good mood to receive it or expecting it to be
Well,
one thing or another.
No one's in a good mood with any of their stuff they're releasing, though.
I mean, we need specifics here, but we got the VR game that's exclusive to Oculus. It was announced in September 2020, so Splinter Cell's working on that. We got Tom Clancy's Elite Squad, which launched for mobile with the Splinter Cell brand, was heavily
Great.
involved in. Unfortunately, the servers were shut down 2 weeks ago, so that made it a little over a year. So when you say that they might potentially do dumb things with Splinter Cell, they've already done several of them in the last
That's what I'm
couple
saying.
years.
They're
so-
going to keep doing dumb shit. Jones,
Yeah.
I'm not even like a big Splinter Cell fan, but I'm upset.
They put
I'm upset how they're treating this series.
they put those goggles and everything too. They just like tease you with the goggles.
It's just, yeah, it's so stupid.
It's a good arc, though. I think about like Tomorrow Never Dies, where like they like, or no, it's Die Another Day, where they like get Bond and then there's like torturing him, and they like finally breaks out, and
It's just like
so.
this is the perfect day and age to bring back a franchise that people loved, and it'll probably be one of the best-selling ones ever. Look at like Resident Evil 7. That game came out a while ago, and it's one of the highest-selling Resident Evil games ever. It's because they did what people wanted, actually.
Yeah.
Do what people want, actually, Ubisoft. Don't do some random bullshit.
Well, Resident Evil
about-
7 was a pretty
was
different
a-
direction.
It was different blood, but
was
it
a
was
shooter,
slow
yeah.
paced and much more focused instead of fucking action with a helicopter crashing in
What?
the middle of China, you running from it.
What? Exploding cars? What could they do to not necessarily like like minutia type stuff, as a Splinter Cell fan? Like, could Splinter Cell become a first person shooter? Like, is my favorite thing is the Spies versus Mercs as one of the coolest multiplayer modes I've ever played
they
in
did
any
a good
game.
job with that in Blacklist as well.
But I wanted Mercenaries to come back, and the one Mercenaries in Village was like, so like I don't know how risky they can get, and how many ways they can go.
Look over the aisle. Look at Hitman. Like, like stealth is a hard genre to do well and to be successful with, and Hitman is doing it.
Yes, you can do it.
And honestly, like some of that stuff is a little tricky because Hitman can get goofy and Splinter Cell really can't. But I think that there's a lot of lessons to learn from what Hitman is doing, and I think, the contracts and stuff where you can kind of create your own missions and share them. Like I think that can help. I definitely think there's room. But yeah, I think it takes something like that where you can design a level in a way that you are not just fail and repeat. I think that's the thing people don't want in stealth anymore is just to like be on a track and then have to repeat 10 minutes of stuff when they screw up. So there needs to be sort of that sort of give and take and multiple solution kind of approach to it.
I tell you what Hitman does that I don't need Splinter Cell to do that I'm kind of tired of in like spy movies in general. It's just this whole lone wolf. We're cut off. They get no funding. It's just us. It's like, or you could have funding. That's also fun. Like it's also neat to have a huge department that's totally behind you and giving you resources and helping you as much as possible. And
that's what's always fun in the James Bond movies. It's like, okay, how's he gonna get fired or quit or be on the run in this one?
Judi Dench was just like, I trusted you. And just like, well, I did what was necessary. And it's like, you said the last. Never mind.
Yeah, I don't remember all the plot details, but Splinter Cell has definitely gone through those motions as well.
And got hung up on his daughter for a long time. I remember that was like a big, his grief and how that tied into everything else. Which again, I'm not playing these games. Double Agent, I think, was the last one I really invested in and loved it. Double Agent has some very, very cool, cinematic story moments that you get to control.
I mean, we're in such an age where you could just pitch a reboot or like a remake of the first game. And that could sell well, really well. Just point to all the games that are doing it and have done it well. That's all you got to do. Just remake the first game. People will be happy.
Preaching to the choir.
That's
Blood's
it.
certainly down.
That's it.
No objections from Blood.
Like they're doing Dead Space.
Yeah.
Right.
Hopefully once X-Defiant has run its course, maybe that they can put some more resources on it.
X-Defiant.
Which,
man?
Ghost Recon and Division are in that, but also Splinter
I'm
Cell.
so glad I'm not like invested in any of those franchises.
Sure.
I'm just imagining like that happened to something I loved.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, we kind of see with Castlevania sometimes,
Right,
but
right,
it's just
right.
like, no, why are you doing this?
Yeah, Ghost Recon fans. At least you get weird Ghost Recon games to enjoy. We got to play the old ones on
Well,
Switch.
we get our Apple Arcade ones. That are ports, I
we've
guess.
yet to see the fine details of that. But I'm optimistic. I just don't know. I mean, who knows if this is actually true.
You can only
Again, it's
go
just a
up,
rumor,
I
but-
want to say.
Quote, being led by a studio outside of its traditional Montreal base. Cool.
Interesting.
Who knows?
Yeah, so it's all new take then, yeah.
This is always a fun conspiracy theory that publishers or developers have like intentional leaks, where they drop something out there just to see. I'm sure it's happened sometime. I don't know how prevalent it is. I'm getting to the point where I believe Ubisoft has like an entire wing of people who are literally just like, well, we are putting a little bit of funding into a Splinter Cell, but like it might be fun to just like, get that word out there, see what happens. See if people are like angry about it for some reason. Because Ubisoft seems to be shocked. Like they seem to be like, people didn't want to play Elite Squad. You don't want X-Defiant. Like maybe they need a little bit of, maybe this does need to leak to like get the good vibes out there.
Yeah.
We do know that they can't keep a secret.
No.
They can't. But I mean,
Ubisoft cannot.
it's getting ridiculous. It's like,
well, I guess Mario Rabbids was,
Yeah.
They leaked a whole PowerPoint
Yeah, it was
presentation
leaked.
on that
So
one.
everything gets leaked from them.
We
Everything.
thought that was fake. It was like an insane
the sequel,
PowerPoint.
though, I don't think we knew about.
but it's
But
like
there's kind of
true.
a foregone
That's
conclusion.
true.
Hey.
Yeah.
they're hard workers over at Ubisoft. They want to be the best. Nobody leaks stuff before they leak their own stuff.
It's true.
A lot happened this week. Hard to believe DC Fandome was in between the last
Right, yeah.
now and the last time we did the podcast.
Sure.
There's some exciting stuff to talk about it. I'll get through the fun highlights. Quote from them in their press release. 66 million views worldwide to date from the streaming event. Available to fans in 12 languages in over 220 countries. It was trending #1 on Twitter for 8 hours in the US. Trended in the top 50 in 53 countries around the world. On DCFandom.com and over 50 live streams across multiple social platforms. YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, Twitter. Around the world. With hundreds of other outlets rebroadcasting.
Who are they bragging about these numbers to? They didn't sell
Yeah.
ads on it, did they?
Investors.
Well, I mean, I mean, where's my Marvel fandom, right?
Right.
They're the only ones doing something like this.
When you're on top, you don't have to brag.
On top of what?
No, that's not
The
true.
market,
a lot
the
of people
game.
do the numbers game, but it's just
Yeah, it's just
I just don't know who it's for. Yeah,
it's for investors.
yeah. Oh yeah, I suppose so.
I mean, it's for all the people who don't believe in DC movies anymore, probably.
I enjoyed what I saw of it. I was happy when we finally got to see Gotham Knights, which was the one we were waiting for.
Yes,
Suicide
and
Squad
Suicide
first.
Squad.
We did our reactions to that. So we have talked about it a little bit. I'm curious right now, what out of the two would you like to talk about first? Like, what are those two big games that we saw? Yes, Injustice was there. Yes, DC League of Super
Well-
Pets was there. But between Kill the Justice League and Gotham Knights, what like bumped up a little further in your estimation? Are you like a little more curious about now, or do you think it'll maybe do
So
better?
with Gotham Knights, I was kind of surprised. It all seemed single player from what we saw. And I remember that game being co-op, but like everything we saw was a character like somewhere by themselves. Really,
It was like a real enemy type.
Right.
they weren't
type
focusing
trailer.
on playing together or anything like that.
Not at all. Yeah.
So I was kind of surprised about that. Like, I could be wrong, but I thought that game was gonna have loot too, or something like that, like a live service kind of thing, where you're getting loot or whatever.
They're kind of being like, oh, well, we'll go into those details, like specifically
Right.
like how you buy, how you make them look different, and how you
they didn't show any of that. I
get
was like,
stronger.
oh.
Is this like Destiny? Is this like how's this?
Like,
Well,
it looked
it is weird because they walked back. Because last year they did show some gameplay.
Yeah, exactly.
And
Yeah.
this time it
This
just
time
gonna focus.
it
on
was like,
story.
hey, we know you like Court of Owls. Here's some
Right.
Court of Owls stuff.
Yeah. And last time they were like, hey, we know you like Court of Owls. Wait for more stuff.
Yeah, wait
Like,
till next
They
year.
very
Right.
intentionally were like,
Well, then they had that whole behind the scenes
Tee.
thing on Court of Owls this time, like just really like
Yeah.
introduce people to where this came from and all of that.
Both same year, also.
Yeah.
I was
Both
surprised about.
next
I
year.
don't
which
know
have,
if that. I'm sure that'll change probably.
which I have doubts and is an interesting
I
move
have
for.
doubts, but very surprising
Yeah.
that they would do that.
Could these overshadow each other? Obviously, they're not going to happen probably close to each other.
Yeah.
If they do.
It is weird. It is weird for them to introduce 2 4-player Batman story games.
To ecosystems, to economies, to kind of like spend some time with,
yeah.
like
Well, Suicide
at the
Squad
end of
have
the year,
stuff like
which
that?
one are?
I
don't
don't.
know.
I don't know how much like economy there is in general, but because I know Suicide Squad for sure.
But
you
even
know,
if- yeah.
having still room for hesitation, but they say that you can play that whole game single player.
Yeah.
and it will be a good time.
We haven't seen what it's like when you play it still.
Right.
Right?
I really want to know what it's like when you play that game.
Yeah.
Like, still nothing. Like, it was
So-
cool. The trailer was cool. I
Right.
liked what I saw.
Right.
Like, fighting the Justice League and Flash Gordon. That's all really cool stuff to us, but it's like, still see what it's like when you're actually playing a little bit. I want to know.
I think it'll be fun to have Justice League characters as boss battles.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
It's
I mean,
gonna
that's
be super fun,
I
yeah.
think that's kind of what we saw. I think
Yeah,
it was
that's what we did see.
Those introductions, especially Green Lantern was
Yeah.
doing like the Kojima staircase, like
Mm-hmm.
let's do this. So I think that's really neat. The Wonder Woman kind of like people have spotted like is fighting with everybody,
Superman,
especially
yeah.
Superman. Like has a really cool like blocks like the eye blast like with the inside of her shield. But still, yeah. So Brad, if you wanted to see maybe more gameplay of Suicide Squad, and there was more of a focus on the story from Court of Owls stuff from Gotham Knights. What are you more excited about at the end of the day?
I'm more excited about Suicide Squad, I guess, just because it's Rocksteady, and I
Yeah.
know they make great games.
It's part of that continuation.
Yeah,
whereas
it's like-
Gotham Knights has this weird like alternate universe take.
less
so.
invested in it. Like, obviously, we love Batman the most, but it's like, this is the continuation.
Well, we love Batman. Batman's dead.
They don't got the
total-
balls to kill Batman.
He's totally dead, and it's really sad. And I'm gonna be sad the whole time until I feel like he's not. I also like Suicide Squad. I thought it was sweet. I actually, it's funny. I'm dying to see how that plays. Especially like, are there co-op moves? Can I like?
That's what I was
grab
talking
someone
about.
or
The
help
chemistry
them,
with
or
these
like,
characters are just so important.
Right.
And to see how they interact.
But
Wait.
I was even surprised Suicide Squad was there. Like I could just see it's just classic Rocksteady. It'd be like, no, man, bye, have a fun
Dude,
fandom.
they've been working
We're
on this
gonna
game
go
for
make the
a
game.
long time.
Yeah.
That's what they do.
Long
they
time.
take their sweet time.
Well, and tonally too, they have such an uphill battle, right? Because Suicide Squad has to be kind of funny and jokey, and some people aren't necessarily into that, and it's really easy to get wrong,
it
and
is.
it can go from being entertaining to being really annoying, and so it's got a lot to prove, but like you're saying, being Rocksteady, being part of the
like
Arkham
they get
thing,
that universe a lot. So
Oh, sure, they clearly care,
Except
and I
Arkham
think,
Knight.
and I think it seems like they're getting a huge kick out of like turning all of them into villains. I told Huber like one shot that I loved was a screenshot I think that you shared later. It was Flash looking down Deadshot's like rifle, and I think Deadshot probably had Flash in his sights, and Flash like just like zoomed around.
Yeah.
And like I'm even if it's kind of dumb, I'm curious like how do you fight the Flash? Like how do you?
With
and they say
4
kill the
players.
Justice League. How far are they? actually
Yeah,
gonna take
I'm
that?
curious about how some of these boss battles are gonna go.
Yeah, I think that's the hardest thing. It's just the title. Just no, you're not.
You're not gonna kill any
Like,
of them.
Come on.
Where's Batman and all this? But like, correct me if I'm wrong. Is Suicide Squad as a brand like doing okay right now?
Seems to be.
I guess.
Yeah,
The James
like maybe
Gunn
not.
movie was good.
Yeah, maybe not
Yeah, it was a
Guardians
decent
hot, but
movie.
like,
But did
King-
it do well
I
financially?
think King
don't know.
Shark played well.
King
I
Shark's
think like
awesome.
going into this, but we
Yeah.
had no idea who. I mean, I was
I didn't
knew
know a
very
lot
little
about
him. I thought I knew all my
it was
animal
funny.
characters, but
It was funny because I had never heard of Captain Boomerang or King Shark before last year's trailer, and then they were in the new movie. It's like, oh yeah, those guys, cool.
Right.
Oh, you didn't see the first one? Good.
oh, boy, that's
I did. Were they in the
Boomerang.
first one?
Yes.
Boomerang's in the first one.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, that's
A
the
lot.
first one.
I
yeah.
saw like the first one in a weird
Yeah.
way. It was like playing on the TV.
None of us saw it in the right way, Blood. I don't know.
from like it wasn't the center of attention,
You could just
right?
blur
And
it
it's
out.
like I saw like the first or the last half of it, and then it repeated, and I saw the first half of it, so it was just bizarre.
But he seems super fun in this game. Deadshot's a character that I love. Ranged, it's like instant sell for me. I think King Shark's working really well from this trailer. I think Harley's in a great place and kind of always has been. But especially this is our Harley. This is the Harley that we
Yeah.
in
Arkham
some
universe.
cases got to play as in some like in some of the DLC in the Arkham series. And so it's a game that's so easy for me to forget about. But watching that trailer was like, whoa, this could be
This could be
big,
sweet.
big
Yeah.
deal. And we're seeing more of it than I thought. But there's also DC League of Super Pets. This is Crypto the Super Dog and Ace the Bat Hound. This is Superman's dog and Batman dog. 2022. This is based off of the movie. And this is coming from Outright Games, which also worked on Peppa Pig,
Yeah.
Oh.
Jumanji,
Yeah.
Addams Family, Spirit, and Paw Patrol. Yes, the horse Spirit.
Oh, okay.
Paw Patrol.
Yeah, they're kind of the license game factory right
Got
now.
it.
Right.
Yeah. Getting paid, baby.
But it's just they were talking about the two big games that were at the DC Fandome. I'm like, two big games? I was insulted. Plus, there was
Well,
the
this was a DC Fandome Kids, a totally separate
The side table.
broadcast somewhere.
yeah, the small
Yeah.
the kids table. Plus, here we are just rolling the dice. Every single clip. Is it gonna be, Gotham Knights? Is it gonna be Gotham Knights? And then bam, Jeff Keighley out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Sitting in a chair like he does in a hotel room somewhere, talking with Ed Boon and Justin Harley, who plays Superman in the Injustice movie. But neat to see Ed Boon being like, "What the hell am I doing here?" Because we just made a game, but then kind of like Aliens versus Predator. It's just like something, an idea will be good enough. The Suicide Squad movie did make double its budget, so not great. Oh, the new Suicide Squad movie. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
But
didn't
it's
think it did well.
during times of COVID, so did all right.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like they just had the new trailer for the Aquaman movie. They're spending a lot of money over there on a lot of crazy TV shows and movies. So
And was that one on HBO?
Yes,
Yeah,
I think it was.
so I'm sure
Yes.
it did great on there.
Oh yeah. Anytime that they put them both out at the same time,
Yeah.
it's gonna totally
So if
screw
it
up the
did-
numbers.
If it did that well in theaters, it actually probably did great.
I remember them complaining about it though, financially for the theaters. So, I mean, yeah, I don't know if it came in together with HBO Max or whatever, but like when they're openly complaining about it not doing well, it's kind of a bummer.
And now, a word from our sponsors. The best way to think about therapy is through a bunch of analogies. We get oil changes for our cars to prevent bigger issues down the road. We see the doctor and go to the gym to take care of our bodies to prevent injury and disease. We do chores regularly, some of us, to avoid a messy house. Going to therapy is like all of the above. It's routine maintenance for your mental and emotional wellness to prevent bigger issues down the road. Going to therapy doesn't mean something's wrong with you. It means you're investing in yourself to keep your mind healthy. BetterHelp is customized online therapy that offers video, phone, and even live chat sessions with your therapist, so you don't have to see anyone on camera if you don't want to. It's much more affordable than in-person therapy, and you start communicating with your therapist in under 48 hours. Why invest in everything else and not your mind? This podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp, and Easy Allies listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/allies. That's BetterHelp.com/allies. I've gotten a lot out of therapy over the years. If you get a lot out of this, that will make me happy. Thank you for supporting them and the podcast. There's a specialist for just about everything, right? When my car breaks down, I go to a mechanic. There's a theme going here. When there's a problem with my shower, I call a plumber. So when you want to get your uneven, crooked teeth fixed, you see an orthodontist. They're the specialists. And that's what sets Candid, the invisible, comfortable, and removable aligners, above the rest. While poorly reviewed or insanely priced clear aligner companies, insanely priced, use general, like cackling to themselves. Candid only works with orthodontists, not general dentists. With Candid, the same orthodontist who created your plan is with you from start to finish, so you never have to wonder how you're doing. Your treatment is prescribed and closely monitored remotely by a licensed orthodontist who's an expert in tooth movement. You can book an appointment at a Candid studio near you or do everything from the comfort and convenience of your own home. Young Brandon was looking for these breakthroughs as a child, but had to put up with poor technology and poor organization. Would have died if this was a possibility back in the day. The average Candid treatment is just 6 months. You'll start seeing results way before then. It costs thousands less than traditional braces. And with your aligner treatment, you get Candid's teeth whitening for free. Candid can help you get the straighter, brighter smile you've always wanted. Right now, you can save $75 on your Candid starter kit when you get started from home, or you can book an appointment at a Candid studio near you today. Go to candidco.com/easyallies and use code EasyAllies. That's candidco.com/easyallies, code EasyAllies. Take advantage of this limited time offer to save $75 on your starter kit. candidco.com/easyallies, code EasyAllies. Buddy Bloodworth to back me up on this one. The holidays are right around the corner. If you want to help prepping for your parties and family get-togethers, all while supporting a more sustainable local food system, check out Imperfect Foods. Imperfect Foods is a grocery delivery service offering an entire line of sustainable groceries that taste delicious and reduce waste. Make a difference in our food system, embrace the natural imperfections, and get your groceries delivered weekly with Imperfect Foods. Did you know? In the last year, 35% of the food supply went unsold or uneaten in the U.S. Imperfect Foods is working to turn this around by sourcing foods that would otherwise fall through the cracks of our food system. I found out about Imperfect Foods a long time ago. Man is super stoked on it. And it makes sense. Like, you can imagine, like, a lot of people are going to sell foods. They're just like, oh, this thing's ugly, but it's totally edible, and I'm chopping all of this up anyway, and it's going to go into a salad or whatever. So it makes sense. And you have... It's on the way. We've yet to taste the offerings. I mean,
the box arrived on my way here, but I went through the whole process, and yeah, so it's interesting because one of the things they do to like save on fuel and all that kind of thing is like for your area they have a set delivery day, so they like deliver to a whole bunch of people in the same area, and so they give you kind of like an automatically filled out cart. And you kind of go through there and it's like, okay, I don't need garlic this week, and take that out. And like, okay, avocado's good. Maybe I'll add another avocado. And you kind of go through all that. And then you can, go through their whole catalog and look through things. And what's interesting is that not for everything, but for some of the things they actually show why it's in the list. So it'll say like, oh, this was printed wrong, or the sizes of these chocolate-covered almonds are like, they're not what people normally expect. Some of them are smaller and some of them are larger. Just, but they give you like just a little clue, and then once you've got it all set up, they give you like for us it was like Monday, they tell you that your cart's available, and then you kind of edit it and figure out what you want in it by Tuesday, and then they deliver it on Thursday, and so I've not actually checked out the box yet, but there was stuff on there that was like, oh hey, that's cool. I like those chips, and there was some drinks that actually our store stopped stocking.
Nice.
And so
a win.
My wife was, happy to see those and grab those. So nice.
It's a really nice service. It makes a ton of sense. And again, my wife and I have used it a bunch of times, so she was happy about that. I think I shouted it from my office. I was like, Imperfect Foods! Visit imperfectfoods.com to see if they deliver in your area. Once you sign up, you can personalize your weekly grocery order with fresh seasonal produce, pantry staples, and yummy snacks. Plus, your order will arrive on the same day each week. On average, Imperfect Foods customers save 6 to 8 pounds of food from lesser outcomes with every order. And unlike on-demand delivery companies, Imperfect delivers weekly by neighborhood, a unique model that produces 25 to 75% fewer emissions than individual trips to the grocery store. Plus, say goodbye to packaging guilt. Imperfect Foods is the only national grocery delivery company that makes it easier to return your packaging after every order. Right now, Imperfect Foods is offering our listeners 20% off your first 4 orders when you go to imperfectfoods.com and use promo code ALLIES. Again, 20% off your first 4 orders. That's up to an $80 value at imperfectfoods.com. Offer code when you use promo code ALLIES. imperfectfoods.com and use ALLIES. And if you are a patron of Easy Allies, thank you. I mean, I could talk about Batman and the Suicide Squad and the Justice League for a long time, but we got to get to Animal Crossing eventually, which I'm also excited about. And Blood was on hand for.
Yeah.
And there were a lot of, come for your Animal Crossing, stay for your lightning hot expansion pack $50 year-long debate.
Well, the weird thing is,
like,
we were
is
there
the
for that whole
story transformed
presentation, but the big news was actually after we
and we totally missed it. I was like,
yeah.
oh, look at the expansion packers. Hey, Genesis games, I like those, whatever. And then we just left like the reactions. And then later it was like, oh, wait.
Because I don't think they dropped the price
They totally
in the thing. I think the price was afterwards.
I remember seeing $50. I remember knowing that.
They did the
I
weird
was not
thing in
surprised
this
later.
that they've done in the past when they were doing the bundles where it's like, hey, great deal. You can get this and online for the same exact price that you would get them both separately, but you can just buy them together for some reason. And like that's how they revealed the price for the expansion, kind of?
Well, they said the price of the expansion in the direct, but they didn't say the expansion pack. They just said it was included with the expansion pack for the Nintendo Switch Online service.
So for anyone not following, to do a very quick recap, a lot of stuff is happening in Animal Crossing, but they have their very first paid DLC, which will be $25, but for $50, you get that expansion pack plus access to online, plus the Nintendo 64 games, plus the Genesis games. $80 for an 8-account family option. And they just kind of snuck that in there after showing a lot of cool stuff. There's a lot of free cool stuff that is happening to Animal Crossing. And we have talked about this. I was on Friend Code in the last episode.
No, there's been a lot of talk about the pricing of it in particular, and whether or not it's worth it. It's like, and it's a weird thing because it's so extremely subjective.
Right.
Because like when I just look at like the service itself and what it gets you, in terms of 15 or however many N64 games and however many Genesis games, and as well as this Animal Crossing expansion, like objectively, like okay, sure, that's probably worth $30, but it's an expansion pack to a thing that costs $20.
Mm-hmm.
And that immediately makes it weird.
Yes.
Because the main thing being less expensive than the booster pack or whatever.
Yeah.
It just like it just screws with your head too badly.
Oh yeah.
And then the other problem, there's several problems. But the next problem is that the main service you can buy monthly. If you're just gonna play Smash Brothers for a weekend with your friends, you can get that for a month. Mm-hmm. If I just want to jump on there and play Majora's Mask, well, the only way I can do that is to pay $30 for a year.
Right.
That's the only game I want to play. That's it.
Yeah,
that's the option.
Right.
There's no way to buy that permanently, and then you go on top of that. So it's like, okay, $30 for the first year makes sense. $30 for year 2, probably not gonna make any sense whatsoever. Because there's no, like, we've seen the pattern, right? There's a limited number of games that they can put in these services.
Mm-hmm.
And so year 2 is just going to be lesser. They're putting all the big hitters up front. There will be maybe a couple of cool games, maybe a couple of things that were like Japan only. Maybe they'll put if they put the F-Zero X, like 64 DD expansion pack into this thing, that'd be great. But that would be like probably the biggest thing that happens in year 2.
Yeah.
And they'll have like 3 or 4 other games.
Yeah, like GoldenEye would be sick, I guess, but
nearly impossible.
Yeah.
And apparently, if you don't buy
Banjo
Happy
in there?
Home Paradise on its own, and you get it as part of the expansion pack, and you stop paying for the expansion pack, you lose access to Happy Home Paradise.
You lose access to going to
to do the thing.
archipelago. The stuff that you've already brought
get
back
the
to your
items.
island, you
Right.
keep.
Oh,
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess.
That's weird as hell.
I have not gotten. I
I know.
reached out to Nintendo. I have not gotten an answer. What
they're-
happens to people in your town,
They probably
secondary
don't know.
players? Because my wife is in my Animal Crossing town, but she doesn't have any need for a Switch Online account. So if I have a Switch Online account and she plays the game, can she access that content or not? I don't know yet.
But I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't know who you're talking to.
Right.
They probably don't know either.
They probably don't know. And I found that out about PR. A lot of times they don't actually know the answers.
They're just giving the info. They're like, okay.
So is the thinking here that a bunch of future paid DLCs will be included in the expansion
That
pass?
is my thinking.
Yes.
That is
Splatoon, probably Zelda.
Because it doesn't make sense otherwise.
because I think that's why it's called the expansion pack.
So do you think most of their games are going to have an expansion pack from now on? Most first-party games?
I think part of this thing is that they can only do free updates to so many games and justify it so much, right? But then you look at something like Smash Brothers or Mario Kart that they are going to make paid expansions for, and they are going to support it for a longer term. But it's almost sort of like that benefit with Game Pass, to where you see a lot of people checking out games that they don't ordinarily do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The same thing happens with expansions. Like just so few people that actually will purchase an expansion, even if they own the game. But if they can pay, this extra amount and they just get access to all of them, then sure. But it's at this point, it's almost theoretical, because Nintendo hasn't said that's what they're going to do. It's just sort of self-evident from Animal Crossing that seems to be.
Yeah, it'd been really cool if they're like, well, these are old, but you get the Zelda Breath of the Wild DLC. You get all the Smash Fighter packs included.
I think the problem is like we were saying about losing access in Animal Crossing. That's something that has to be patched into those games to work that way. And some games, they just might not, right? Like with Breath of the Wild, like how do you disable those hooks once you've gotten that stuff? It probably wouldn't work.
I'm worried.
Do you think the meteoric rise of Animal Crossing, on the Switch, breaking all those records, do you think that kind of pushed them to having the confidence to do this? Or do you think they were trying to solve this expansion pack problem that you were describing?
I don't know. It's strange. Well, it's strange for one that they're putting the free and the paid at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
I do think that the paid expansion is actually it answers the question of what they had, I think, an issue with last go around with having these Animal Crossing side games that not everybody was interested in, and so I didn't pick up Happy Home Designer. It didn't seem worth my while.
What was the board game one again?
Oh gosh, the board game was so bad.
So bad.
But if you hook it into, your progress and everything else from the main game, then it's suddenly somehow becomes more appealing, even if it's essentially the same thing.
I think they're just trying to make their online better and more appealing. Period. Because no offense, they're getting killed.
Well, that's the thing, though, Brad. They're not doing anything about the service.
Exactly.
You're not getting better service.
They're trying to, but it's you're not making it better. Your actual online service. The voice chat app still.
Right.
It's that's the most Nintendo thing ever.
The prospect of playing a lot of 64 games, multiplayer is exciting, or co-op is exciting.
That is,
that's
super cool.
But again, how is?
But I don't give a shit about Animal Crossing. I don't care about it.
Right.
I would love if I could just pay $10 more or whatever, get N64 games of Genesis.
But I think you look at the sales numbers for Animal Crossing, and I think it blows past. I don't care about it.
Oh yeah.
You get to a point where you're enough people do. There's a crazy amount.
Oh, of course.
Record-breaking amount of people. So I can't help but think there was a meeting where they said, "Oh, neat! What big expansion pack are they going to have?" And somebody in the room was like, "No, I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to that crazy idea we have for an expansion pack. We'll package it with this, and then it's what everyone wants and doesn't want at the same time."
About the rollout of their games too, you're talking about N64 rollout. What are you going to do?
Right.
That's going to be a crazy hit. Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, awesome games. Majora's Mask is coming. Mario 64 on there, but it's
well, you already have
Sin and Punishment on
you already
really
have Mario
cool.
64 on the Switch.
Yeah, I know. You have it on everything.
And I think that's the other issue.
But you have
it's
to buy it every time or rent it or some stupid thing.
The subjectiveness of it is the games on their own are worthwhile.
Yes.
You've got
incredible
multiple
games
of some of the greatest games of all time in that list. Just the starter list, right? But we bought them on N64. We bought them on the Wii. We upgraded them on the Wii U, and then Nintendo's like, We're starting over.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Yeah.
I have like 400 games.
Especially so
on the virtual console,
Like,
from
you could
game
buy-
trailers, and I cannot play them on anything.
You buy
other
your
than a
games
Wii U.
on PSN, Blood, or your Xbox, and it's like it's gonna work on the next systems. That's just the way it is now. And it's like Nintendo. I have no idea. I can't even buy the damn game. I have to rent it.
Right, and that's the other thing. It's like, well, if I invest in this now, is it gonna even be compatible with the next system? Am I just throwing money away? You know?
They're so annoying, but they have such awesome games.
They got leverage.
I know it's
That's
so
the thing.
it's so annoying.
But
Like,
at the same time, it's like
Yeah.
it's like Sin and Punishment, for instance. Like
it's like sweet. But that's a lot of money.
you'd probably have to pay like $80 to
Yeah.
get a cartridge.
Like that's such a cool pick to
if
add
it's
in
that
there.
cheap, yeah.
But it's like, dude, like if I didn't cover games for a living, like I probably wouldn't buy this. I'd be
Right.
like,
Oh, right.
meh. Like Power Upgrade time with
Well,
like three other
the funny
things.
thing is, Brad, is because I think it was all just it's all discombobulated. So because they talked about the controllers coming out,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and then like I wanted to check out this N64 controller, and then we're like, oh, of course I'm gonna jump in.
Mm-hmm.
But then when there wasn't a monthly plan, I was like, oh, well, this is awkward now because I've ordered a controller. But I'm not sure that I want to pay for the yearly
Yeah.
plan. But that's the only thing I'm going to use this controller for.
Like how crazy?
Just
like,
complete the process,
like-
Blood.
like how could like you could get Game Pass for a month or whatever, and
Right.
just play whatever the hell you want for a month, and you're good. But this is like no, you're locked in.
Yeah, that's
It's like a cell phone
I'm
contract,
still
man.
a weirdo that I'm specifically only on the Game Pass monthly because if I have a month or two where I think like, you know what, I'm not going to play any of those games, I
Yeah.
can cancel it,
Yeah.
But
I gotta be honest, I'm surprised this conversation's gone this far because after we did the reactions and I surfaced and was like, wait, what happened? They had a pricing model? What? And I
that's what I'm
looked up
saying.
and
It
was
wasn't
like,
there. We
oh,
would have talked about
right.
this in the reactions.
The specifics, yeah. And then I checked like later and I was like, oh, yeah, Nintendo's just overpriced. It's just like what they do. So, yeah, I'm surprised.
But see,
I don't
that's the
know.
thing, like
I
even
just-
calling it overpriced, like it like
Uncomfortably priced, awkwardly priced.
yeah, awkwardly, yeah.
This,
it-
like the
it's just
model
weird.
is super weird.
It's a weird, yeah, that's it.
Because you're spending money
It's
on
really
potentially a lot of things you
confusing.
don't
You don't
want.
have an option to do
Yeah.
anything else.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm a dumb idiot because I want online in Genesis and 64 and
Like, yeah,
Animal Crossing.
awesome.
So it's
Well,
like
the Genesis is
It's
extra,
like, is this my
extra
fault?
weird because the Genesis collection is out. You know, like we played the Genesis collection not that
there's
long
so
ago.
many, yeah.
So you throw that in there. It's like, well, that's cool, but I've got that already.
and it upsets me because it is overshadowing what is absolutely adorable content that is coming to this video game.
What's coming to it exactly?
I'll give you the
So
lightning.
much?
I'll give you the lightning fast
yeah.
free updates. Everything I'm about to say is totally free. Red.
Okay.
Brewster's Coffee Shop, Cap and Boat Rides will take you to crazy vine islands that have
cool.
never been in the
That's
game
cool.
before. Harv's Island, which you could just go to take pictures now has this whole backyard area, which is gonna have Sahara, Reed, Reese, Cyrus, Tortimer, Harriet, Katrina, a bunch of old people that like would randomly pop up on your island. Now you can like go there and
I saw Red in there.
after
Yeah,
you
Red being there is
after
great.
That's
you
huge.
spend a ton
Yeah.
of money but everybody's sitting on a bunch of money because we haven't had a lot of stuff to spend it on. You can grow vegetables, cook dishes, get a bunch of different exterior customization styles for your house. They're boosting the storage from 2,400 to 5,000. You can make that portable now, so you can put
That's
an
nice.
item anywhere on your island, so you don't have to go home. You can just run to this thing and open it up
Yeah.
and get access to your storage. Island ordinances, which I'm excited about, so you can tell shops to open earlier, close later, or just people in your town in general to like be more active at certain times of day.
Yeah.
Get to work.
Ceiling elements, you can hang a bunch of crazy stuff now, new lighting stuff, 12 more KK songs, 11 more hairstyles, 11 more reactions, a bunch of new Nook Miles
12
items,
KK songs is huge.
and a island life tip
yeah.
thing, which we don't need, but it's just like good for new players jumping in
Oh,
now,
right,
because
right.
I'm sure they're going to have a bunch of people who are like, fine, I'll
Yeah.
2.0, fine. So all that's free.
Cool.
Happy Home Paradise, which is $25, or however, 50 or whatever.
Square Enix.
You work to build holiday custom homes. There's a bunch of biomes. The amiibo cards work with that, so you can summon specific villagers. You can do currency to buy who knows how much crazy stuff is going to be added in there.
But let me explain the concept to Brad. So like there's this whole like set of islands, right?
'Kay.
That you travel to. And so when you go there, you kind of work as like an interior decorator for these animals. So you go up and they're like, I want to have this kind of house.
Oh, okay.
And there's like 3 specific items that you need to put in there.
okay.
But then after that, you can go wild and just kind of like fill in the theme however
Got
you
it.
want. And then you can also like do like shared houses for 2 different animals. You can set
Oh,
up partitions
that's
in the middle of the rooms. You can create like
That's
restaurants.
fun.
Will they
walls and
argue against each other? That's the
I don't
kind
know.
of shit I'm into.
They seemed pretty civil.
They
A
did
lot
talk
of the-
about increasing interactions and stuff.
But
with
a lot of
animals,
the
too.
biome stuff, like one was like a western area and one was like snowy. And like granted, like that stuff can happen if if the clock gets to that point. But like some of these biomes are like, they haven't had
Cool.
any.
Yeah,
stuff
so
like
that's
that
what
in
I'm
the
saying.
game.
Like, I don't think $25 is too much because I think in the past Nintendo would have sold this as a separate game.
Right.
Probably.
And now it's just like, we're going to bolt this on to the game we already have that's
I
already super
love
successful.
That it uses amiibo
And like you
cards.
bring this stuff back in. So like the partitions and pillars and stuff like that,
Yeah.
you can put that in your house now.
Yeah.
And a lot of-
Soundscapes.
yeah.
So you can have rooms sound like something.
Oh, okay.
Like sound like a city where did they go? A school, hospital, restaurant. You can like they'll fill in specific roles. So like people are like creating new houses and making dummy profiles just so they can have like a new 4-room thing that I can
Right.
make look like a restaurant, but it's just a bunch of empty rooms. And now it's like no, these animals are the
Cool.
servers or the chefs, and I can go in there and talk to them about their jobs. And
That's sweet.
so yeah, just a ton going on. It's just the only way. There was no way I could open this conversation by being like, "So Animal Crossing, right? Wee." Clearly, Nintendo's doing weird stuff with their pricing, but I'm a sucker.
Hey, yeah. I mean, if Animal Crossing fans are in it, that's a win.
Yeah, and see, and that's the other side of the subjectivity of the expansion pack, because if you're going to buy this Animal Crossing $25 anyways, now that takes up 25 of the 30, and so like okay, there's an extra $5 and I'll get N64 games, so it becomes easy to justify. But if you don't care about Animal Crossing at all, it's like, why am I going to pay $30?
Me, I'm gonna pay $30 to play Sin and Punishment.
Right.
That's about it.
It's so weird. But Cinnamon Punishment on the Wii Virtual Console was like $12, I want to say.
Yeah. Well, I used to be able to buy games, period, from that.
Yeah.
So.
We got September NPDs. Thank you to
Ooh.
Matt
I
Piscatella
love
from
it.
the NPD group.
Yeah, let's go.
There's a lot of games sell a lot.
Sure do. More than ever.
There is one particular thing that is fascinating. I love a good streak ender, a combo breaker. But that is September 2021. Snaps. This is directly. I like the snaps from Matt Piscatella. Snaps the remarkable 33 consecutive month streak. The Nintendo Switch was the market's leading platform in hardware unit sales, not money made, but how many units they sold. November 2018 was the last month the platform other than Nintendo Switch led the market in unit sales. That was the PlayStation 4. It was the PlayStation 5 that came along and whooped them in unit and dollar sales. PlayStation 5 was the best console in every metric that you could possibly measure it if you trust these crazy NPD people.
It's crazy. Especially because you can't really find them that well easily.
Is Nintendo going to strike back next month and take over again for another streak?
Oh,
or
that's going to do it, yeah.
Maybe, yeah. A lot of people are buying OLED, so maybe.
Wait, I'm sorry. Blood is confident. OLED's going to do it?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, we had a shot there, Sony. I hope you enjoyed it.
You're going to be continuing to sell the regular Switch, and you're
There's
going to
3
get
of
all
them
these
now.
people
It's
that
like,
don't
forget
get
about it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's like, 3 SKUs now? 4?
Yeah.
Something crazy?
The light is becoming pretty
Oh,
irrelevant,
yeah.
but yeah.
Phase it out, yeah.
It's cheaper.
Yeah.
If you want to try to quote
Yeah,
unquote
I mean,
save money on a Nintendo
yeah,
product,
it's
like
totally
there is a way to do it.
Just hope you don't get
It's totally
Joy-Con
for people
drift.
that want to get a little durable thing for their kids or just have.
Durable.
Yeah.
Is this surprising? Do you think Sony was going to dethrone them at any point?
I didn't think
just-
it'd be for a while because they're just hard to find, period.
Yeah, I think it's just a supply
Like, they're
issue.
just selling everything
Yeah.
they got right now. Like, I've never seen one in a store. I don't know if I've ever seen a Series X either in a store.
Right. Yeah.
I see Switches all the time, but
It's entirely it's like their ability to do it is just their ability to get them into people's hands.
Yep.
Yeah.
Will Nintendo comment on this? Will they tweet at Sony and be like, "Hey, good month, won't last long"? Do you think Nintendo cares? Do you think that's something do they have like a bet?
Oh, they definitely care. They
yeah.
definitely talk about it to investors.
Write
and
it
have
up
all
on
the
the wall.
projections and everything.
yeah, they do. But no, they're not gonna like message them or anything. That'd be hilarious and awesome if they did, though.
What was the best-selling game of the month? You know it. You know it.
September, is it Madden?
You know it.
Metroid
Madden.
Dread?
No, it's Madden.
Oh.
Yeah.
Repeat is the best-selling game of the month. That's the thing, is that PlayStation 5 sells the most units. I feel out of place. I don't know what to do. What's going on with reality? But then I see Madden NFL on top. And
yes.
there we are. Back the way things should be.
Constant.
But some fun titles that stand out. Tales from Arise set a new launch month dollar sales record for any Tales of franchise release.
Hey, all right.
Excellent.
We were saying that
They gave Tales
would
like a
be
bigger
nice
budget than ever,
if
and it paid
happened,
off.
but we weren't sure. Where was our confidence set at that, do you think? How likely was this to happen?
Oh, for a Tales game, I don't know.
It's hard to say, but I've definitely noticed that there's a very strong fan base
It's
there.
been a long
And
time.
I think this game
Yeah.
did enough to make itself look appealing to people that weren't in
Yeah,
that.
I
did
was
see that.
intrigued.
Yeah.
I will not go all the way, but I was intrigued, and then that's impressive. in
I
my
have
book.
physical. You could borrow
Oh
it.
no!
No excuse.
You're not supposed to tell me those things. Life is Strange True Colors. Messaged this one to Hubert on Slack. Got his reaction. Actually, I can bring it up. I think he just said like yes. He was excited. Launched as September's 10th best-selling game. True Colors generated the highest launch month dollar sales for any Life is Strange title to date.
Hey, good for them.
Nice.
Yay.
The what was it? The first one that's not episodic too, maybe.
Right. Yeah.
that might've
all the
helped.
episodes are in the package.
Yeah, that
from
might've
the-
helped.
from the get-go.
Just nice. That's all you're gonna say, Blood. You're not doing backflips. You're not freaking out. Were you expecting it? Did you think like, yeah, this is the series on the rise. This is not gonna take a dip.
Yeah, it's hard to say. I'm definitely glad that it's not faltering because I do feel like there's a fair amount of backlash to 2. I feel like people didn't feel like it had the same magic as the first game, didn't have what they wanted out of a sequel, and so it is nice to see that True Colors came back from that and is getting received well.
And it's not. What are they? Don't Nod. It's not them either, right?
Right. It's
so,
Deck 9. So they're keeping that
Yeah,
franchise
keeping it
going
going.
wherever it's gonna go.
Yep.
I'm only in chapter 2, so I've got a long way to go to see how it is. But yeah, even personally, it's nice to see that series improve. It's impressed me more than I thought it would. So
What about WarioWare Get It Together? Were you impressed?
Oh, I forgot about that
actually,
game.
yeah, that game was more fun than I thought it would be.
Cool. 15th
Yeah.
overall best-selling game of September, ranking second on Switch. It achieved the highest launch month sales for a WarioWare franchise release since WarioWare Smooth Moves in January 2007.
Okay.
Yo, that game was sick. Played that a lot.
So here we are. I'm from the future, and you say, Jones, Tales from Arise, Life is Strange, WarioWare. Which of them will do well? All of them.
All.
They will all break records. They will all be the best
Best-selling games ever now.
of their. But yeah, I
Anything.
mean, everything's up. Year-to-date spending reached $42 billion, 12% increase versus a year ago. Spending grew overall just 3% for September, up to $4.4 billion.
It'd be nice to see Metroid on that list next month.
A lot of people. That would be cool.
Oh yeah. I think,
But again, it's always
The
with
UK numbers seem to indicate
gonna
that,
be
yeah,
there.
it's going to be the best-selling Metroid game.
Digital's
period.
not.
Yeah.
tracked all the time, but with reviews, yeah. I was playing it before we had to stop.
Game is so
playing Metroid
good.
Dread to do this podcast. Also this week, this came in.
Wait. Go down the whole list, man.
There were the whole list.
I want to know the
The
top,
top
10
10
games.
Yeah, we need to go down the top 10.
Yeah,
too.
what are you doing, man?
Alright, fine.
We don't gotta get crazy in depth, but I want to know.
Well, you know your top there. Ooh, we had a conversation about this. The 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 are all new. These are all games.
Nice.
Jumping in on the list, we already said Tales of Arise was number 3. 2 and 3 are sportsies. We had a conversation about number 2 recently, about its value.
FIFA?
FIFA, yeah. FIFA and EA going to war. A lot of people in the comments were like, "Oh, FIFA does not eat EA. Screw EA. Leave them in the dust." And a lot of people were like, "No, they definitely need them." So not that easy. NBA 2K22 at number 3. Tales from Arise at number 4. It's number 5. Brand new, coming out there in September.
New World? Damn.
No, this is an old game.
Oh,
Brought back
that's a very
Diablo
common
2?
thing.
from the
Oh,
dead.
Resurrected?
Diablo 2.
Oh, okay.
Number 6, brand new game, big franchise, reviewed by Brad Ellis.
Oh, Lost Judgment?
No, you didn't review this. Ben reviewed this.
Oh.
Ben reviewed this because I got the review.
I was like, what?
Gotcha.
Gotcha. Sorry.
I was like, oh, sick. Good for Lost Judgment.
Deathloop coming in at number 6.
Deathloop.
Oh,
Nice.
yeah.
Beating
forgot
out
about that.
2 platforms only.
beating out Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, which is a lot older than Deathloop, but
Yeah,
still
a lot older.
impressive.
Yeah.
Ghost of Tsushima at number 8.
Yeah.
Miles Morales, which is
Still
wow.
killing it. Yep.
Still-
That's a
going.
surprise, yeah.
just dropping from the 5 spot. Again, Tsushima was at number 2. And then Life is Strange again at number 10. What's number 11? Because it's got to be here somewhere.
GTA 5.
Mario Kart.
Bing.
Ah.
Mario Kart already dropping from number 6 to number 11. Diablo Prime Evil Collection? Oh, is that all the old stuff?
Huh.
Prime Evil Collection. Is that just like the deluxe edition or something? I don't know.
Is that like, yeah, does that give you all the DLCs and stuff like that? I'm not sure.
I have no idea what
That's
that
at number
is.
12, just right behind Mario Kart.
It's just like one of those like weird
Maybe that
packages
includes
you
3 or
see in
something. I don't know.
Best Buy or something.
Yeah.
Sonic Colors Ultimate.
Okay.
Going in at number 13.
Wow.
Beating out Minecraft. And then, yeah, your Valhalla's Animal
Still
Crossing
going,
at
yep.
number 18. COD 2019. Mortal Kombat 11.
Hey.
Number 20.
Nice.
There you go.
Thank you, Jones.
I'll go all the way to 20 and beyond, baby. I don't care.
The Primeval Collection includes Diablo 3, some bullshit wings and crap, and Diablo 2.
It's like the in-game stuff
Yeah.
too. Okay, got it. Got it.
Also this week, some devs who worked with Mercury Steam claimed that they were left out of Metroid Dread's credits. That happened very close to our recording of the last podcast. So.
Yeah, there's been a lot of back and forth there, but
But it's just people claiming that. So who
people
knows?
having weird credits policies is definitely a discussion people have been having.
Marcus Lito joined Electronic Arts, is leading a new studio in Seattle, making, quote, first-person games. He was creative director on Halo 1, 2, and 3, is credited as the guy who made Master Chief look like that, basically.
Yeah.
It's like one of the main creative leads.
Yeah, and
super stoked.
Disintegration was in development for a long time and died very fast.
Well, he says first-person games, not first-person shooters, so it's going to be interesting. I don't know if that was just him being general or...
Oh, wasn't that the game I reviewed a while ago? Disintegration?
It was like mechs half the time, and then like
Yeah, I reviewed
walking
that.
around.
Did
and
you
remember
actually do
that.
that review?
Yeah.
I
I
wasn't
did.
sure if that
I
was you or
remember
Ben,
that.
because I know Ben
No, I did it.
the
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah. The creator of Stardew Valley announced their next game, Haunted Chocolatier.
Hey, that's
Which I'm
cool.
kind of down for, just based on the title.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And knowing what
What do
Stardew
you
Valley
like,
was
Count
like.
Chocula or something?
I've seen a couple screenshots, but that
It looks like you
happened
go
very
out
recently.
and like gather ingredients and then you put them in your shop and like manage your shop of
Oh,
different chocolates or
cool.
something.
So down for
But
shops.
it's a ghost town. I don't know all the details.
Yes. Yeah.
You sent some code for like a saloon simulator or something. I was like, oh no. Or I got it in my inbox. I was like, I can't. I do not have time. Saloon simulator.
You should try Potion Craft. It's cute.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
there's some fun mobile games where you just sell a bunch of
Dungeon
medieval
Village,
items.
dude. That game rules.
On
Moonlighter.
January 22nd, 2022, God of War will be available on Steam and the Epic Game Store.
Nice.
Still no
Craziness.
Bloodborne. Still no Final Fantasy VII
They're doing
remake.
something Bloodborne.
Rumored.
that's why.
Bloodborne rumored.
Yeah, they're doing something different.
But crazy, but also this week.
Cool.
'cause it's it's another one.
It's a great game.
Definitely their biggest so far. I think that made the jump there.
Yeah, that's
I
Much
wanna
as I
play
love
it
Days
on
Gone.
PC.
absolutely huge. Yeah.
Speaking of PlayStation, the PlayStation Store now has a new game strand on the top page, which is a pretty big deal because I've seen a lot of indie developers that are like, "Thank
Yeah,
you,
I mean, like, why did
I
that
can
take so
finally
long?"
just be there because I'm there. You know, it's
Right.
not. I'm not going to get shoved
That's
out
like
of the
a
way.
weird
Or,
thing not to have at launch.
yeah, that'll be a fun thing to see. We got to see a bit of a scrapped Tomb Raider survival horror game called Ascension.
Yeah.
Oh.
That like some of the design elements you can see they've like made their way into like later Tomb Raider games.
Oh,
but this is
okay.
a whole crazy thing that,
That
was
sounds
scrapped. It
cool.
looked fantastic. It was
Put up on the official channel. Like, it's really cool
Whoa.
for them to just, take the lid off of this thing and show it to you and see all the jank, the super jank of
That's
early game
cool.
development. And Lara riding away from a giant on a horse. It's just like, what is this game?
It's pretty bonkers, especially this month. You owe it to yourself.
Tomb Raider's
to-
pretty bonkers.
Yeah, get a little
sometimes
Tomb Raider
anyways.
horror into your life. Xbox Twitter heavily teased the new Fable stuff was dropping on October 18th, but then it was like, nope.
Yeah, do you have the exact tweet there?
It was like, tune in tomorrow for chickens or something. We're gonna do a chicken reassignment program or something.
Well, they
We're
said,
getting
like,
our chickens in order.
They said something with like Fable in the tweet.
Yeah, they were saying.
And they tweeted later and said, "Hey, there was a
I've got all three.
miscommunication
That
that
was
we were going to
after
do a
them.
Fable thing." But
They
we're
said
not.
Fable in the first tweet in some way.
No, it's totally all about Fable.
Yeah.
But then it just like died.
So, whoops.
Sorry, I'm having a hard time scrolling.
Because, like, I mean, you and me were like, Fable?
I was way down.
Sweet.
I was like, okay,
Like, even if it's
All right,
just
here we
like,
go.
calendar marked.
October 17th. We're excited to kick off something special tomorrow.
Kick off.
Just give us one more day to prepare the chickens. We'd call it our Fable anniversary, but that name was already taken. And then later in the day, Sorry for any confusion. We don't have any big game news tomorrow or any info about We Are Playground's upcoming Fable game. And then the next day, like nothing happened.
It's like stopping a
What?
Yeah, a small child from having a tantrum.
was
It's like,
a-
no, you haven't. No.
That was a stupid tweet.
But hey, maybe that's soon. Even if it's a couple months away, even if it's beginning of next year,
Yeah.
I'm down.
I mean, I
It'll
didn't
be
expect it to be the next Fable game, but I thought it'd be like, hey, maybe an update for Series X or something.
Might be time to.
I thought it would be like some blog or
announce a
trailer or
cast
something.
member or something weird or. But no.
Nothing.
Twitch apparently had a do not ban list, so popular streamers weren't banned for quote unquote something dumb, which has come to light, from the hacks and all that
Yeah.
stuff. But like,
I think
it's
one
not
of-
around anymore. But
That was an old list, right?
it is an
It's
interesting
Yeah, it's an
thing to
old,
think
old
about.
list. At first, it seems really suspect, but then, like, when you talk about, like, back in the day, like, you could get banned for just, like, turning your full cam on and not streaming a game. It was like,
Yeah, it was a lot
oh,
different,
okay,
yeah.
I see what this... Like, it's not really as...
Sure.
And like you could get banned for streaming something not gaming related, so they had
Right.
Yeah.
exceptions for. One of them was big. It was like FX or AMC or something, like big TV channel.
Not exciting when that information gets stolen, but every now and then some interesting stuff comes out. Smaller, larger expansion drives are coming soon for Xbox. Previously, they just had the 1 terabyte drives. Blood's
Yeah.
excited.
Not really, but it's...
You posted it.
It's, it's good to see those options. But, man, $400. $400 for
want
the
it.
2 terabyte.
What?
Yeah.
What? They're so expensive. What?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
That's insane.
I'll just delete the game.
Get a
It's
Switch
fine.
OLED.
Yeah,
exactly.
Just download something.
The
again,
512
please.
is like 140.
Still too much.
Yeah.
Wait, so you can downsize?
Hmm?
You can downsize?
No, it's the expansion.
Oh, an extra, right.
Yeah. It's a
I
little
was
hard
like,
drive
wait,
that you
why
put
would
in the back.
Downsize it though.
They call it a card. I don't know why.
Okay.
It's
We're back to memory cards.
yeah.
So we talked last week about how the DFEH, which originally put a lawsuit on Activision
It's
Blizzard,
getting- I
was
can't follow
charged
it
with an
anymore.
ethics violation. Well, now Activision Blizzard's like, say what now? The DFEH got a what now? Okay, we need a little time to sort through these papers. So like everyone's sniffing that Activision Blizzard's going to be like, ha ha ha,
Right.
look at this one little fine print, and then haha, you can't have a case against us. Goodbye. Which I'm sure they're still terrified and very annoyed by all of the stuff that's happening here. But like, they're finding a lot of ways to
the
sneak
legal
out of it.
side of this, I've gotten to the point where I do not care until there's another like actual case.
I don't care until I have to put the podcast together.
But I mean, no, like even then,
Yeah.
it's like these weird little back and forths, and highlighting this paragraph or that paragraph, or you're pointing at this lawyer or that lawyer, like just.
See, this is
It's
why
not
I
a
like
development
Batman.
anymore.
Daredevil kind of tries to pull this off, but this is why I love Batman. It's like the guy from, gets off, and then they have the big party, and then he goes out and drinks with all his mob buddies. Then he goes back to his apartment at night.
Batman's there.
Flashes, there's Batman. I know what you did.
Yeah.
Go, Dick, you're mine. Sadly, we don't live in that world. We do live in a world, though, where the Xbox Series X mini fridge sells out in 15 minutes.
How much
People
was
are
it?
trying to scalp them.
What originally started as maybe not
A
a real
meme?
thing is now totally
Yeah.
real. And and a lot of people were just like posting on social media. They were like, wow, they are, Xbox is behind, depending on how you look at it in terms of just like all the records being broken. But like they're doing something right, because that is a strong fan base. That is just way
Oh
down.
yeah.
Where can we take it next? What else does that thing
Yeah, I
look
think
like?
I saw people trying to eBay them for like $300.
So they probably weren't that much then. So maybe that's why people were buying.
Yeah,
them.
but I think they're actually going to be available in stores. So
That's a cool
in the
mini
fall,
fridge.
so when they actually are out there
Yeah.
in the wild,
We should
like,
get one.
Nobody's going to be
$99.99.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
nobody's going to be paying those scalpers. Come on.
Yeah.
And Elden Ring got delayed to February 25th.
Let it cook, baby.
2022. Let it cook. It's fine.
it cook.
It's fine. Let it cook. Let it
Just
cook.
let it
Except
cook.
it's
Sign up
February.
for the network test.
With February, but like immediately that wipes everything out of February. For me. Like I don't care anymore about anything in February except that.
Same.
Sorry.
The balance of power has shifted.
Wait, Horizon is stoked because it's a week after Horizon. Otherwise, they'd be
Oh,
furious, even more furious. They're probably pissed right now.
All these people hungry for Elden Ring. There's definitely
Yeah.
going to be some
Because
purchases.
they had
I don't
to
think
deal
we
with
know
it.
Nintendo's February though.
Not yet, yeah. Well, it was Breath of the Wild, I think, for the first Horizon. That'd
Yeah,
go
yeah.
close to them. Sorry, Horizon. Playing Elden Ring first. They'll play Horizon.
Let's play a game.
God damn.
This is from Ian Alexander, who gave us the previous Lost in Translation. This is the Taiwan version.
Oh, okay.
We need to try to guess, or you, I ain't playing this. You got to try to guess the correct titles of these games translated from Chinese to English with the infamously inaccurate Google Translate. These are all games currently being discussed on Taiwan's top gaming news site, Bahamut. Let me respect Ian. These are all very relevant games. They're all games that are happening right now.
Great website name.
None of these games are not either like imminent or have had huge trailers dropped or like just launched and a lot of people are playing them. So there's going to be nothing like a decade ago that's obscure.
Okay.
And first person to get it wins. So some of these are obvious. Like the first one, The Final Battle Infinite.
The Final Battle Infinite?
Halo Infinite?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, right. For some reason, I thought you said stuff that was out. Okay. But it's close.
Or close. These are like
sorry.
in the popular conversation.
Right.
Wow, that's gotta have wow.
The Final Battle?
The Final
Battle.
Infinite.
What do they know that we don't?
Right.
Right.
Vengeance on Blood.
Back for Blood?
Back for Blood?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Snuck in ahead. Decisive Moment, Modern Battlefield.
Battlefield.
Call of Duty?
Call of Duty
Whatever
Vanguard?
it's called.
Call of Duty
Vanguard?
Modern Warfare.
Call
going.
of
There's
Duty,
a lot more than
Black
that.
Ops
Ghosts?
4?
There's that other big one that was hacked a lot.
Oh, Warzone? Call of Duty
Yeah, there we
Warzone?
go.
Oh.
Oh.
Black Street Saints.
Saints Row?
Correct.
Oh, boy.
yeah.
Oh, boy.
Hunting in the Line, Frontline Operations.
Battlefield
We have
5.
talked about we have talked about this game on the podcast.
Hunting in
Yeah.
the Line?
Hunting in the Line, Frontline Operations. One of those words is in the title.
Frontline Operations.
Ghost Recon Frontline?
Oh my
Correct.
god, yes.
Magic Warrior 3.
Magic Warrior.
3.
Nah.
I'm trying to think of any threes right
What?
now.
There's some threes.
Yeah,
Some big threes coming.
my brain. It won't work.
That's Bayonetta 3.
Oh.
Wow.
Magic Warrior?
Interstellar Team. Woo.
Interstellar.
This is a great translation because it's just such a boring, obvious way to describe
Guardians of the Galaxy?
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh my god. That's so funny.
The Great Brawl at the Temple of Valor, which is not a bad title for this game.
For Honor?
The Great Brawl at the Temple of
This game
Valor.
is a little old. This game's been around for
Assassin's
like
Creed
2 or 3
Valhalla?
years. It's
Chivalry? It's
got Holla in it.
Damn.
The Great Brawl.
Brawlhalla?
Yeah, Brawlhalla.
Oh.
Okay.
Good stuff. Those are so wacky and all probably horrible, and we might have offended somebody, but moving on. It is time for Love and Respect.
Love and respect.
From Happy Gaming. It's finally the spooky season, but personally, I wasn't always into chills and thrills. I actually used to be completely averse to anything that could even be a little bit scary. I was even scared of Abbott and Costello meet Frankenstein. But somewhere along the lines, things completely flipped for me. I don't exactly know when it was, but my guess is either it had something to do with the original Silent Hill or Resident Evil 4. Since then, I've been in love with the genre and get more in love with finding new spooky games and movies to watch every year. The horror genre has given me years of extremely fond and wonderful memories that others just can't match. I remember playing Fatal Frame 2 with a friend in sleeping bags late at night, holding each other's hands as we passed the controller back and forth. We were so scared. Another time, I introduced RE4 to a different friend who insisted he hated scary games and then insisted after starting that he wouldn't stop until the game was done. He loved it so much. I'd love to hear stories about how each of the allies fell in love with the spooks and what horror game memories they have as well. What stories do you have about your love of horror allies? It's a good time.
Yeah. I think, I actually do have somewhat of a story, I guess, because I've never been like that into scary movies. I'm still not that into scary movies. Don't watch a lot of them. And kind of related, like I don't think I played a lot of like horror games back in the day. You know, I didn't get into Resident Evil and stuff when it first came out, but I was intrigued by the screenshots and stuff for Silent Hill 2, and I was very intrigued by Eternal Darkness, and I think that's kind of where it started. Where I was really into Eternal Darkness, really into the psychological horror aspect, and then my first Resident Evil was the GameCube remake, and then
There you go.
kind of from there, you know. And
Yeah.
I don't play every horror game, but there's definitely
Well,
things that stick out here and there.
Playing Resident Evil 4 VR this morning at like 8:30 in the morning. I'm like, it's an excellent time to begin my Resident Evil 4 VR playthrough. And all I could think of was playing it. I was like, RE1 remake, let's go. Like you easily just do what you did here. Just do it there.
Well,
Holy
not
cow,
so
I would
easily
love.
because it's all a bunch of static pre-rendered backgrounds. But yeah.
Easily.
I
would be so down for that. My big one was Clock Tower on the PlayStation, the point-and-click PS1 game on a controller, which does not, it was super rough, does not hold up in a lot of ways. But because I played a horror by myself, I don't recall, because I would watch movies if I would get together with friends and we were going to do something scary. I think it's one of the rare instances. It was my girlfriend and my older brother, and we were playing it together, and Scissorman came in. We were hiding in a chest, but we couldn't close it all the way. So you could see a couple pixels of our character peeking out. And he came over and looked at it and was like, oh, I guess they're not here. Turned away and then doubled back and stabbed us through the top of the box.
Oh, wow.
And that's probably the most I've ever screamed at a video game with a group of people. We were so good. But it was so tiny on screen. It was almost like The Sims. It was just very strange game.
I guess my horror game started was... I was probably like 4 or 5 playing Castlevania on NES, the first one. Because there wasn't a lot of horror games that I was aware of at the time that, but it was the creepiest thing that I had kind of at the time. So I remember it being creepy. But I'll never forget the first horror game, I guess, was RE1 when it was pretty new at the time. I was playing with my brother, and it's I'll never forget those moments the first time they happened, the zombie turn and the dogs through the window. I'll never forget stuff like that.
Yeah. It's funny, though, that you bring up Castlevania because, I just didn't really see them as horror games,
but it's that
they're in that setting, right?
But
it's funny. You look at
I had access to those like that.
Yeah,
you play Friday the 13th on NES, and I'm remotely creepy. It's or Jaws or something. There's just it was interesting that they did a lot for horror and even Haunted Place. What was the Resident Evil kind of pre? There was some. Capcom made it was based on a movie or something. There was some old crazy console Haunted Castle, I think, or something.
Yeah, that sounds familiar.
Yeah.
But it's
early horror entries are interesting.
It's when you watch old horror movies from back in the 40s or 50s or whatever. You're like, oh, they look so cheesy and fake, but everyone at the time was freaked out by it.
Yeah.
And it's at the time NES Castlevania looked crazy and freaked me out still.
Yeah, well, I remember the cover art for Nintendo Power, one of the first Nintendo Powers.
2?
When they had to...
Oh, my God, where he's holding Dracula's head?
Holding the head.
So sick,
all the organs there, and just
Nintendo was...
Parents writing angry letters.
So cool, but yeah.
My earliest memory that I have is my dad and I played Seventh Guest together. And I remember that we had a demo for Alone in the Dark, I think.
Sweet.
And then Genesis, Splatterhouse and stuff like that.
Right.
And then I've told this before, but I tried to win Resident Evil in a ring toss at a carnival before I even had a PlayStation. But then when I did get a PlayStation, I had a friend, shout out Evan Skytree, he's a musician, but he would come over and watch me play all of Silent Hill 1. And so we were a team for that, which is really good. And then I just went all in. Resident Evil, Silent Hill. God, I love them all so much.
Didn't D come up in conversation? Didn't he really?
Dude,
bring up D?
I wanted
and I was
to
like,
play...
I played that. I played it. I finished it. I remember all that stuff.
To this day, I remember I read about D in a magazine. I think it was EGM or something. And I never had a Dreamcast or Saturn or whatever.
Yeah.
And to this day, I want to play D, and I never have.
Very slow.
Did it come out on Dreamcast
Myst,
as well, or was it only Saturn?
It must have just been
played
Saturn.
it on Dreamcast. I think it might have come out on PlayStation as well.
Yeah, I think it might have been on
several things. I would have had to borrow someone's Dreamcast to play it. I don't think I did.
I definitely remember going through the old game trailers library and having that big fat Saturn case with the
3DO, Saturn, PlayStation, and MS-DOS. I just remember seeing the ad. Do you remember? It's well, I can actually show you guys, but the D with the girl's face.
Yeah, I remember this.
Crying blood or whatever.
Yep.
I remember seeing that, and I was just like, that's so cool. I was a goth kid, if you didn't know.
Really?
No, soft goth.
Well, soft goth, you'll enjoy this next one. From Sam Joven, bit of a broad question, but what makes for a great setting in horror games? What elements are essential for the optimal spooky ambiance?
Sound design.
Yeah.
That's one of the most
Music,
important. Lighting.
colors.
But it's interesting, like the wolf sound effect in the original Resident Evil 1, not the remake, the Resident Evil 1 for PlayStation's like I had it memorized, and every time it would come up, and it would still creep the hell out of me. Like I still would know how it was built and where the graphical layers ended, and I was still just like on the edge of my seat, like bite my fingernails.
You've got to have that little bit of movement out of the corner of your eye, right? Like the shadow of the branches moving in the wind or something like that. To where you think you see something, and then it's not there.
Half-Life 2 has really, in their DLCs, has like a really good horror element because the G-Man like follows you around. Like there's a lot of instances where you can like, what the hell? And you'll see him like on a building, just like, hello. So like I love, and the same thing with film too. I love when something happens that you trusted in me to find. Otherwise, I would have just missed it. It's fine,
right.
you know, like you don't have to like throw everything at my head.
Well, one of the things too, going back to Eternal Darkness, is just that like pounding on the door when you're in the mansion. Like the perfection of that sound effect, because it literally sounded like it was happening in real life and not coming out of the speakers. It's just like, how did you just do that? And it just freaks you the heck out. And then the other thing,
some of these I've never experienced.
Anytime that
some of this Eternal Darkness stuff I've just heard about, but I never got during any of my playthroughs.
Same.
And then, the other thing that I love to bring up, and I'll bring it up every time we bring up this game, is the audio designers put in sounds specifically made to mess with your cats and dogs.
Yeah.
That's super cool.
And
That's
so your cat
Kojima
and
shit.
dog starts freaking out, and you're like, what is happening?
That's awesome.
I love that. That makes me think of Shattered Memories, where you get the call in the Wii remote.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
I
right,
loved
the
that.
Wiimote
That was so
stuff.
creepy.
The only thing, though, now is I play so much with headphones that when like
Yeah.
the PlayStation controller or something does something, I kind of miss it.
Yeah.
But yeah, is there one particular gen that kind of like there's kind of a resurgence of like this like PS1 tattered, pixelated look.
Yeah.
There's a lot of a lot of like top-down games. You and I were discussing some like upcoming like top-down like horror kind of Japanese style. Almost looks like a turn-based RPG like from yore, but there's just a lot of like spooky elements. Did one gen do it better than others in terms of atmosphere, or are we just getting better
I
and better
definitely
at it
think
as we go on?
I think that PS2 GameCube era did pretty well.
Yeah, it's like Silent Hill 2 on
Silent Hill
3.
2, Resident Evil Remake,
Yeah.
Eternal Darkness, like there's others.
Yeah.
I definitely think there's something
Fatal
to
Frame
that.
2 was
Like,
PS2, right?
like-
Yeah.
scarcity is the mother of invention, right? Where it's like, with a limited technological capability, you have to make artistic choices.
Yeah.
Because you have to get it across. Whereas now, you can just do the thing, you know? So I do think there's something to be said for that, like older generations having like a really spooky vibe.
Definitely.
And just shout out, I don't know why this just popped in my head, but it did, and I'm always going to give it a shout out when it pops in my head. Shout out to Dreams, because there's a lot of cool stuff you can download that literally is just spooky ambiance. That's it. Like it's just
They're
somebody
doing a
had a
whole
neat
Halloween
idea.
event right
yeah,
now.
somebody had
Yeah.
and they did it last year's, or not the same type of thing that they're doing, but they definitely have like seasoned events. But it was just neat to like go into an environment and like, that's it, I just want to make a cool forest, you know, and it
That's
can certainly appreciate something just on its own. From Steven Santiago, I'm really hyped for Gotham Knights. Looks fun, ambitious. So excited to play as my favorite Bat family member, Tim Drake, aka Robin/Red Robin. I really hope the game does well, but let's look into the future for a bit. Let's pretend now. It's 2022. Gotham Knights reviewed well enough to get character DLC. What character, past, present, or future from the Bat family would you like to see added to the game as DLC besides Bruce Wayne Batman? Personally, I'd love to see another either Stephanie Brown spoiler / Batgirl or Harper Rose Bluebird, which is some fun deep cuts. Azrael, which you might know from the Arkham series, would be
Right.
fun. It'd be fun to play as him. You fought him in some
I
of the
could do
previous
Damien.
games.
I want to be Alfred.
Bruce Wayne's kid.
Yeah, Alfred is who came to my mind
Yeah.
too. Like hitting people with a cane and then just
Yeah.
getting glass cannon. Like you get hit once and you die.
Yeah.
Either that, or I was also thinking of Lucius. It'd be fun to play just a gadget character.
Oh,
So
sure.
He's
Yeah.
never there.
Yeah,
he's literally
that's
just
true.
controlling like these like robots or just other like tools that he brings in. Or his stuff is like slightly different.
Batwoman is good. I like her.
Batwoman is also cool. Talia is also kind of like
Talia
it's kind
al
of the Catwoman, good girl, bad girl, and we've
Yeah.
played as Catwoman
Right.
before in these games. And so yeah, Talia bringing in like some stealth stuff and maybe some League members that are fighting with her would be neat.
I want someone from the animated series. I think his name is Kyodai. Do you
Oh,
remember
was that when he trained in Japan?
Yeah,
Was that the guy he
yeah.
trained with? Yeah.
that guy's awesome.
And even like other, I mean, it's like when they did DC Fandome, somebody drew an awesome picture when they had like the fan art exhibit of Zatanna, who is Zatanna. It's always I say Zatanna,
The magician?
but, yeah,
Yeah.
But she's a magician character, and like that would be
Yeah.
that'd
sure.
be fun surprises. They pull objects out of thin air anyways in that game, so she'd fit right in.
It'd be cool to do like a, you know how Spider-Man had the like animated suit or whatever. It'd be cool to do
Oh, yeah.
costumes that make it look like Batman the animated series.
It's tough. They did that with Arkham Knight, and he was just so big. that
Oh, really?
It didn't, yeah.
Yeah.
It looked like he like if like the Batman the animated series Batman was like a lion that he skinned and just like put over him. Like,
Yeah,
That's
they'd have to make
funny.
it like completely
Yeah.
different.
doesn't always fit. Batman Beyond one was very cool, but
Yes,
sometimes they
it
just
was.
don't work. It is time for bets. Next week's bet: Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, also known as Interstellar Team. What was it? Interstellar Team. Marvel's Interstellar Team.
Yes.
Launches on October 26th, 2 days before we record the next episode of this podcast. I want to know, how long are those end credits going to be? Brad Ellis.
5 minutes.
5 minutes. All right. A little bit on the short side. Isla.
7 minutes.
There we go. There we go. There we go. Bloodworth.
Oh my, 1727.
Whoa! What?
701.
Oh shit!
Wow.
Yeah. It feels good. I was happy.
Your price is righted me.
I know. The 01, I knew what I was doing when I did it, but I didn't know I'd hit it that close.
Damn.
That'll be interesting.
You've got,
I hope
But then they
it's
could rush it. You never know.
6:59.
They could be.
because you've got the Montreal, no, is it Montreal? Anyways, the Eidos Montreal team.
Right.
You've got the whole Square Enix
Sure.
enterprise. And you've got whatever Marvel and Disney are going
Special
on.
thanks to Feige and all these other weirdos. Yeah.
True, it's gonna be
Depends
long.
on the speed, man.
Right? Yeah,
It's all
yeah.
about that
Yeah.
speed.
It's all about that.
But how many
speed.
songs do they want to play, though?
That's
Yeah,
the other thing.
that's
That's
true.
the thing.
We
They
won't
wanna
be able
play
to
those
stream these
songs.
credits.
Two
They
songs.
made up their own band.
Yeah. I'm not going to put these credits at the end of the podcast next week because they will have a lot of popular music in it.
Yep.
I would imagine. This week's bet: the Dark Pictures anthology House of Ashes launched on October 22nd, or it launches today, the day we were recording this week's episode. At that time, I want to know how many people will be watching Twitch's #1 stream of the Dark Pictures anthology House of Ashes. Ben Moore bet 6,000. Michael Damiani bet 250. Daniel Bloodworth bet 5,106. And I would love it if it was right on the money. And I bet 800. And here it is. I got the game right here. Gonna roll it up. Let's see if it's the same one I've been watching all day. Oh, he stopped. Now XQCOW
Oh no.
is streaming the game to 73,000 people.
Whoa.
That would put Ben pretty close. to that.
It only
At
takes
least the closest
one
of the
streamer
group.
to do it.
You're like 6,000, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Bringing that score too. Jovial Penguins 27.
Gentlemen, start your screaming.
Back to Penguin.
Yeah.
Vociferous Beavers 19.
Nom 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 nom.
I had it. It all depends on who it is. Oh boy. Let me tell you about patreon.com/easyallies. I can lose podcast bets. That's fine. Just as long as you go to patreon.com/easyallies. If you haven't yet, if you're just chilling and enjoying this podcast, we hang out every week and we talk about video game stuff, but there's so many other things that we do at Easy Allies. There's so many other pies that we got our hands in, lots of other things. Reasons why there's only 3 chairs at this desk is because of all the other content that we're producing. And that we,
I gotta show the desk.
this chair right here, we got to show it for people who are watching. But if you want to go to patreon.com/easyallies, not only can you find out about so many other things that you do, you can support the Easy Allies and the wonderful content that we produce. We're getting near the end of the year. We are stacked as far as our schedule is concerned, and we just had a meeting talking about like what are going to be able to review. We're going to be doing Goaties in January, and then we're looking ahead at 2022, another big, fresh, wonderful year of Easy Allies. We would definitely appreciate your support. We certainly appreciate the support of our shout-out tier. We have 4 wonderful people here that we're going to shout out right now. The very top tier at patreon.com/easyallies. Shout out to L. Thanis, Greg the Dark Knight Kettering, Caleb Togi Crawford, and Nick. Shout out.
Shout out.
Shout out.
Out.
Nice. Well, let's see who's betting there. Ben and Damiani are betting. We got Brad and Isla here. So yeah, you can divvy that up however you want. Between the two of you, you get to promote any Easy Allies video you'd like to promote. You get the final word on anything you've disagreed with, want to reiterate, or just popped into your head, and you get to sign off with your trademark sign-off.
I'll
What do
take
you wanna do?
final word.
I'll promote a video, I guess.
I believe in you.
Okay. What? Mysterious Monsters, damn it! Watch that shit. Watch it, or I'm gonna cancel it. Share it with your friends. That
That's the
show's
spirit.
hard. It takes a lot of effort.
It does.
New episode Monday.
New episode Monday. Oh yeah, right.
Yep.
That-
Watch
I'll
it.
promote the upcoming one. Monday, the 25th, noon, PT. Check easyallies.com for your local listings. Watch it. Tell your friends. Let it escape Easy Allies' impossible gravity on YouTube. Whose arm is that?
Whose arm is that? Final word. What's Sophia's
Final word is Ubisoft. You got to get together, all right? I'm sick of this shit. Your fans are sick of it. Quit fucking around with Splinter Cell and just make a proper one. That's all you got to do, and people will be happy. Just do it.
Good night and good game.
Fable?
$30 for year 2.
When you're on top, you don't have to brag. Where'd everybody go? Bingo?